Have you ever promised yourself you just check your phone for 5 minutes, and suddenly it's an hour later? Or maybe you've caught yourself ordering food you don't need, binge watching shows late into the night, putting off that important task for just one more scroll, one more snack, one more hit of something easy. It's not your fault. It's your brain doing exactly what it's been wired to do. But here's the hard truth. Pleasure is making you weak. In this video, we're going to explore how the psychology of instant gratification is silently hijacking your focus, your discipline, and your long-term success. We'll talk about why your brain craves these little hits of pleasure, how it's being manipulated by the modern world, and most importantly, how you can take back control. You'll learn the real cost of chasing short-term comfort and the powerful science behind delaying gratification for a stronger, happier, more fulfilled life. If you stay until the end, you'll walk away with practical tools to rewire your mind and start choosing long-term growth over temporary pleasure. Let's begin. What is instant gratification? Imagine this. You're working on something important, a report, a workout, a study session. You're 5 minutes in when you feel that twitch. Your phone buzzes. Your mind whispers, just check it quickly. It'll only take a second. You give in. That's instant gratification. It's the desire to experience pleasure or avoid discomfort immediately. You scroll instead of studying. You eat sugar instead of cooking. You binge instead of sleeping. It feels small, harmless even, but every one of those micro decisions adds up. Over time, they shape who you become. Instant gratification is the force behind procrastination, impulsive spending, emotional eating, addiction to likes, and the inability to stick to long-term goals. It's not laziness. It's a psychological pattern, and you're not alone in it. To truly grasp the pervasive nature of instant gratification, let's delve deeper into some everyday scenarios. Consider the student who faces a challenging research paper. The library beckons, filled with resources and the promise of knowledge. But the allure of social media, with its endless stream of updates and notifications, is a far more tempting distraction. The student rationalizes a quick break, a brief respite from the demanding task. But that brief respite often stretches into hours, leaving the paper unfinished and the student filled with a sense of guilt and mounting anxiety. This seemingly innocuous choice, repeated day after day, can lead to a pattern of procrastination, hindering academic progress and eroding self-confidence. Or consider the professional facing a demanding project with a tight deadline. The project requires focused attention, meticulous planning, and sustained effort. However, the siren song of email notifications, the constant barrage of messages and requests, can easily derail their train of thought. Each interruption, each momentary diversion, fragments their concentration, making it increasingly difficult to regain momentum. The allure of responding to a seemingly urgent email, the desire to feel productive by ticking off a quick task, can sabotage their ability to tackle the more complex and ultimately more rewarding project. This pattern of prioritizing the urgent over the important can lead to a sense of being constantly busy but never truly productive, leaving the professional feeling overwhelmed and unfulfilled. And let us not forget the individual striving to adopt a healthier lifestyle. The intention is there, the desire to nourish the body with wholesome foods and engage in regular exercise. Yet, the path to wellness is often fraught with temptations. The convenience of fast food, the sugary delights that offer a momentary burst of pleasure, can easily derail even the most well-intentioned efforts. The immediate gratification of satisfying a craving often outweighs the more abstract and long-term benefits of improved health and vitality. This constant battle between short-term pleasure and long-term well-being can lead to a cycle of guilt, self-doubt, and ultimately, a resignation to unhealthy habits. These examples illustrate the insidious nature of instant gratification. It's not always about grand, life-altering decisions. It's often the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant choices that gradually erode our discipline and hinder our progress. Let's delve deeper into the neurochemical processes that underlie our craving for instant gratification. Dopamine, while often labeled the feel-good chemical, is more accurately described as the motivation chemical. It's not the sensation of pleasure itself, but rather the anticipation of pleasure that drives us to seek out certain experiences. This intricate system, honed over millennia, played a crucial role in our survival as a species. Imagine our ancestors foraging for food in the wild. The sight of ripe berries, the scent of fresh water would trigger a surge of dopamine, motivating them to pursue these essential resources. This dopamine-driven reward system ensured that behaviors crucial for survival were reinforced, increasing the likelihood that our ancestors would repeat them. However, the modern world presents a stark contrast to the environment in which our brains evolved. We are now surrounded by an abundance of stimuli that trigger the release of dopamine, often with minimal effort on our part. Food high in sugar, fat, and salt, for instance, provides a concentrated dose of pleasure, hijacking our reward system and leading us to crave more. Social media platforms, with their endless stream of notifications, likes, and comments, offer a constant drip of validation and social connection, triggering the release of dopamine and keeping us hooked. These supernormal stimuli, as psychologists call them, are far more potent than the natural rewards our ancestors pursued. They provide an intense and immediate dopamine rush, bypassing the need for sustained effort or delayed gratification. Our brains, still wired for survival in a resource-scarce environment, are ill-equipped to handle this constant barrage of stimulation. The consequences of this hijacking are profound. Our reward system becomes desensitized, requiring ever-increasing levels of stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This can lead to a state of chronic dissatisfaction, where we're constantly seeking the next hit of dopamine, whether it's from scrolling through social media, indulging in unhealthy food, or engaging in other addictive behaviors. Moreover, the constant pursuit of instant gratification can erode our capacity for delayed gratification, a crucial skill for achieving long-term goals and fostering a sense of fulfillment. When our brains are constantly bombarded with immediate rewards, we lose the ability to appreciate the satisfaction that comes from sustained effort and perseverance. In essence, our ancient brains, designed to guide us towards survival in a simpler world, are now being manipulated by the very technologies and industries that cater to our desire for instant gratification. This manipulation has far-reaching consequences for our mental well-being, our ability to focus, and our capacity for long-term success. How is making us mentally weak? Here's the consequence. Every time you choose instant gratification, you reinforce a neural pathway that says, discomfort is bad. Delay is pain. I need relief now. Over time, this erodes your ability to tolerate frustration. It shortens your attention span. It makes long-term thinking feel impossible. You begin to need that hit, whether it's scrolling, sugar, or stimulation, to feel normal. And here's the brutal irony. The more we chase short-term pleasure, the less pleasure we actually feel. Research shows that excessive dopamine stimulation dulls our reward system. It becomes harder to enjoy the simple things. You feel restless, unfocused, constantly craving something, but you don't know what. You're not weak, but your brain is being trained to be. The repeated selection of instant gratification over delayed gratification has a profound impact on the intricate neural pathways within our brains. Each time we opt for the immediate reward, we strengthen the connections between the brain regions associated with impulsivity and short-term pleasure. Conversely, we weaken the connections between the regions responsible for self-control, planning, and long-term goal pursuit. This process, known as neuroplasticity, highlights the brain's remarkable ability to adapt and change in response to our experiences. Just as a muscle grows stronger with repeated use, the neural pathways associated with instant gratification become more efficient and dominant with each indulgence. As a result, the impulse to seek immediate pleasure becomes more automatic, more ingrained in our behavior. Over time, this rewiring of the brain can have significant consequences for our mental and emotional well-being. Our ability to tolerate frustration diminishes as we become less accustomed to experiencing discomfort or delaying gratification. We develop a lower threshold for boredom, constantly seeking external stimulation to keep us engaged. Our attention span shortens, making it increasingly difficult to focus on tasks that require sustained effort or concentration. Moreover, our capacity for long-term thinking is compromised. We become less able to envision and work towards distant goals, as our focus narrows to the immediate present and the pursuit of immediate rewards. This can lead to a sense of being trapped in a cycle of short-term gratification, where we are constantly seeking the next quick fix, the next fleeting moment of pleasure, without any regard for the long-term consequences. The irony is that this relentless pursuit of pleasure often leads to a decrease in our overall experience of happiness and fulfillment. As our reward system becomes desensitized to excessive stimulation, we require increasingly intense experiences to feel the same level of pleasure. This can lead to a state of chronic dissatisfaction, where we are constantly chasing after something, yet never truly feeling satisfied. We may find ourselves feeling restless, unfocused, and perpetually craving some undefined something to fill the void. The simple joys of life, the quiet moments of contentment, the satisfaction of a job well done, all lose their luster in the face of this insatiable desire for stimulation. In essence, the pursuit of instant gratification, while seemingly harmless in the short term, can have a corrosive effect on our mental strength and our capacity for genuine happiness. It can trap us in a cycle of immediate gratification, leaving us feeling perpetually unfulfilled and disconnected from the deeper sources of meaning and joy in life. Modern society's role, and make no mistake, this isn't just biology, it's business. Every swipe, every scroll, every ping is meticulously designed to keep you hooked. Tech companies, marketers, even the food industry understand the psychology of instant gratification better than most people do, and they use it. Algorithms learn what keeps you engaged. Notifications exploit your fear of missing out. Junk food is engineered for the perfect blend of salt, fat, and sugar. Streaming platforms autoplay the next episode, so you don't have to think. You are not just consuming content, you are being consumed. And the cost? Your time, your peace, your potential. Modern society, with its relentless focus on convenience, speed, and immediate satisfaction, plays a significant role in perpetuating the cycle of instant gratification. The very fabric of our daily lives is woven with threads of instantaneity, from the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep. Consider the ubiquitous smartphone, a device that has become an extension of ourselves. It offers a world of information, entertainment, and social connection at our fingertips. Yet, it also serves as a constant source of distraction, a relentless barrage of notifications, updates, and messages that demand our immediate attention. Each ping, each buzz, triggers a dopamine response, pulling us away from the present moment and into the digital realm. Social media platforms, designed to connect us with others, often exploit our innate desire for social validation. The pursuit of likes, comments, and shares becomes a form of digital currency, driving us to constantly seek external approval and reinforcing our dependence on instant gratification. The carefully curated images and updates we see on these platforms create a distorted reality, fueling our fear of missing out, FOMO, and leading us to compare ourselves to others, often to our own detriment. The food industry, in its quest to satisfy our cravings and maximize profits, has engineered food products that are specifically designed to trigger our reward system. Processed foods, often laden with sugar, fat, and salt, provide a concentrated dose of pleasure that can be highly addictive. These hyper-palatable foods bypass our natural satiety mechanisms, leading us to overeat and reinforcing our preference for instant gratification over long-term health. Even the way we consume entertainment has shifted towards instantaneity. Streaming services, with their endless libraries of movies and TV shows, offer on-demand access to entertainment, allowing us to indulge our desires at any time. The autoplay feature, seamlessly transitioning from one episode to the next, eliminates the need for us to make a conscious decision, further reinforcing our passive consumption and diminishing our capacity for self-control. In this environment of constant stimulation and immediate gratification, it is becoming increasingly difficult to cultivate the skills of delayed gratification, self-control, and sustained focus. We are bombarded with messages that tell us we can have what we want when we want it without having to wait or work for it. This creates a sense of entitlement, a belief that we deserve instant gratification, and a diminished capacity for dealing with the inevitable challenges and setbacks that life throws our way. The consequences of this societal conditioning are far-reaching. Our attention spans are shrinking, our ability to focus is waning, and our capacity for deep work is diminishing. We are becoming increasingly accustomed to a world of instantaneity, where everything is available at the click of a button, and we are losing our appreciation for the value of patience, perseverance, and sustained effort. In essence, modern society, while offering unprecedented levels of convenience and access, is also inadvertently contributing to our susceptibility to instant gratification. The very technologies and systems that are designed to make our lives easier are also, in a way, making us weaker, eroding our capacity for self-control, and hindering our pursuit of long-term goals. Delayed gratification and long-term growth. But now, let's flip the script. Back in the 1970s, psychologist Walter Mischel conducted the famous marshmallow test. He offered children choice: eat one marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes and get two. What happened next was fascinating. Some children waited, some didn't. Years later, researchers followed up, and the kids who delayed gratification, they had higher academic scores, better health, stronger relationships, greater emotional resilience. Why? Because they had learned to manage impulse. They developed self-control, the foundation of success. Delayed gratification isn't about suffering. It's about choosing meaningful rewards over momentary ones. And it's this capacity, the ability to pause, to endure discomfort, to aim for the bigger picture, that separates those who thrive from those who stay stuck. The marshmallow test, conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel in the late 1960s and early 1970s, remains one of the most iconic and insightful experiments in the field of psychology. In this simple yet profound study, children were presented with a choice. They could have one marshmallow immediately, or they could wait for a period of time, typically 15 minutes, and then receive two marshmallows. The experiment was designed to assess the children's ability to delay gratification, their capacity to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of a larger reward in the future. The results of the study were striking. Some children succumbed to temptation within seconds, unable to withstand the allure of the marshmallow sitting right in front of them. Others employed various strategies to distract themselves, such as singing, playing games, or simply turning away from the treat. These children were able to delay gratification, holding out for the promise of a greater reward. But the true significance of the marshmallow test lay not in the immediate choices the children made, but in the long-term outcomes that were observed years later. Researchers followed up with the participants as they grew into adolescents and adults, and the findings were remarkable. The children who had demonstrated the ability to delay gratification at a young age tended to have significantly better outcomes in a variety of areas. They achieved higher scores on standardized academic tests, indicating greater cognitive abilities and academic success. They exhibited better physical health, with lower rates of obesity and substance abuse. They reported stronger social relationships, demonstrating greater empathy, cooperation, and social competence. They also displayed greater emotional resilience, the ability to cope with stress, manage their emotions, and bounce back from adversity. These findings suggest that the ability to delay gratification is a fundamental skill that underpins success in various aspects of life. It is not simply about resisting temptation in the moment. It is about developing a mindset, a way of thinking and behaving that prioritizes long-term goals over immediate impulses. Delayed gratification is not about self-denial or deprivation. It is not about forcing oneself to endure unnecessary suffering or hardship. Rather, it is about making conscious choices that align with our values and our long-term aspirations. It is about recognizing that while immediate pleasures can be enticing, they often come at the cost of our future well-being. The capacity to delay gratification allows us to pursue goals that require sustained effort, perseverance, and patience. It enables us to prioritize our long-term health over immediate cravings, to invest in our education and career development, and to build strong and lasting relationships. It empowers us to overcome obstacles, to manage setbacks, and stay focused on our vision, even when faced with challenges and temptations. In essence, delayed gratification is a cornerstone of self-control, a skill that is essential for navigating the complexities of life and achieving our full potential. It is the ability to pause, to reflect, and to make choices that are in our best interests, not just in the moment, but also in the long run. It is the capacity to choose meaning over immediate pleasure, to prioritize growth over comfort, and to build a life that is both fulfilling and successful. How to rewire your mind so? How do we break free? It starts with awareness, but it can't stop there. Here are 5 psychology-backed ways to rewire your brain for long-term strength. Delay by 10 minutes when you feel the urge to indulge in a distraction. Wait just 10 minutes. Research shows that delaying gratification, even slightly, weakens the impulse. Make the long-term reward visible. Write down your goals. Visualize the outcome. Your brain needs reminders of why discipline matters. Bring your future self into the room. Create friction for temptations. Put your phone in another room. Delete the food delivery app. Cancel autoplay. Make the path to distraction harder. Replace. Don't just remove you can't fight dopamine with willpower alone. Replace the cheap hits with real rewards. Deep conversations, exercise, nature, meaningful work. Build micro-discipline, start small. Wake up on time. Make your bed. Finish the task you start. Each small win rewires your brain for resilience. Remember, discipline is like a muscle. Every time you resist the pull of immediate pleasure, you get stronger. Breaking free from the clutches of instant gratification requires a multifaceted approach, one that combines awareness with practical strategies for rewiring our brains and cultivating self-control. It's not enough to simply recognize the allure of immediate pleasure. We must also actively work to develop the skills and habits that will enable us to choose long-term rewards over short-term temptations. Delay by 10 minutes. This simple yet powerful technique leverages the principle that impulses, while intense, are often fleeting. By consciously delaying the gratification of an urge, even for a brief period of time, we can weaken its hold on us. Research has shown that even a short delay can significantly reduce the intensity of a craving, giving us the opportunity to make a more rational decision. This strategy allows us to create a buffer between the impulse and the action, disrupting the automaticity of our habitual responses. Make the long-term reward visible. One of the reasons why instant gratification is so seductive is that its rewards are immediate and tangible, while the rewards of delayed gratification are often abstract and distant. To counteract this, it is crucial to make our long-term goals more vivid and compelling. Writing down our goals, visualizing the desired outcome, and creating visual reminders can help to keep us motivated and focused. By bringing our future selves into the present moment, we can strengthen our connection to our long-term aspirations and make it easier to resist the allure of immediate gratification. Create friction for temptations. In today's world, temptations are readily available and easily accessible. To minimize their influence, we need to create obstacles or friction between ourselves and the sources of instant gratification. This might involve putting our phones in another room, deleting tempting apps, unsubscribing from promotional emails, or making unhealthy foods less accessible. By increasing the effort required to indulge in a temptation, we can make it less likely that we will succumb to it. Replace, don't just remove. Willpower alone is often insufficient to overcome the powerful pull of dopamine. Instead of simply trying to suppress our urges, it is more effective to replace unhealthy habits with healthier alternatives that also provide a sense of reward. Engaging in activities that we find enjoyable and meaningful, such as spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, having deep conversations, or engaging in physical exercise, can provide a natural and sustainable source of dopamine, making it easier to resist the allure of instant gratification. Build micro-discipline. Self-control is not an innate trait, but a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time. One effective way to cultivate self-discipline is to start small, with simple and manageable tasks. Consistently waking up on time, making the bed, completing a small task, or sticking to a short commitment can help to build our discipline muscle. Each small victory reinforces our ability to resist immediate impulses and choose long-term goals, gradually rewiring our brains for resilience and self-control. Remember, rewiring our brains and developing self-control is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. There will be times when we slip up and succumb to temptation. But these setbacks should not be seen as failures, but rather as opportunities to learn and grow. Each time we resist the pull of immediate pleasure, we strengthen our resolve and increase our capacity for delayed gratification. Conclusion: here's the truth no one tells you. Most of your battles aren't against the world. They're against your own impulses. And in that quiet moment, when you choose whether to scroll or focus, indulge or persist, you're shaping your destiny. Pleasure isn't bad, but when it becomes your compass, you lose your way. The strongest people in the world are not those who never feel tempted. They are the ones who have trained their minds to choose purpose over pleasure. So the next time you feel that tug, that instant craving for escape, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this making me stronger or weaker? Because your future isn't built in one grand moment. It's built in 1,000 tiny decisions, one marshmallow at a time.